come to a Times Talk. Times Talks are different presentations that the American Democracy Project facilitates for different groups and organizations and people on campus who have something that they would like to share with you. And today we have Sarah Bailey, who is the former student coordinator of the Tiger Food Exchange, and we also have Shane Keller, who is the current coordinator of the Tiger Food Exchange. And they're going to talk to you a little bit about that program today. So thank you guys for coming. We appreciate it.
Hi. I'm Sarah, and I'm sure you all know where the food exchange is over there. And they got rid of all those shelves now, so now it's very open. I don't want to ask you, but it is open to all students, and it's just there. And then our storage, we have a storage facility that the library has generously offered us to use downstairs where we store the larger donations. The Tiger Food Exchange was an idea. Actually, the original idea was a campus garden, the Victory Garden, which is out by the Robbins Center. It's open. I mean, it's right there at the base of the hill. And that was an idea back in 2012. Prior to that, 2 students on campus wanted to have a pantry back in 2011. Shayla Mills taught a course in the political science department called Food and Politics. Brendan McCampbell was a student in that course, and his idea for a class project was to start the Victory Garden, which was originally out beside the band practice field. And they're directly correlated. The Tiger Food Exchange and the Victory Garden are correlated with each other under the umbrella of the Hunger Initiatives. The Hunger Initiatives came to a head during 2012. Shayla Mills started the getting people together on campus from different departments to bring awareness to food insecurity. So since then, we have grown. We used to be in the corner right there, and then we expanded, and they gave us that whole area over there, which is awesome. And they have provided us shelving and everything like that. I'm like trying to.
Who does it serve?
It serves the Fort Hays community, which includes students, faculty, and staff. Alumni can use it. We've pretty much opened it up. There are certain community members that have actually come in and taken advantage of the food that we have offered, which is completely fine. We do not want to deny food to anybody in need. Currently, out of the numbers, we have had 220 students take advantage of I don't want to use the word take advantage of, use the Tiger Food Exchange so far this semester. Last semester, we had around 1,300. And the numbers actually the numbers get larger every semester. It's been kind of miraculous how well it's been used. We are funded by the Kansas Health Foundation. We were awarded a grant 2 years ago in the lump sum of $66,000. That actually provided the materials we needed for the food exchange. We bought a freezer. We had money in there to buy a hog. We buy a hog from the university farm every semester. The last semester we bought a hog and a half, and that is put in the freezer, and students are able to come and get that between certain times. It's usually on a Friday sometimes, and they can come and get a pound of meat or whatever they need. There's pork chops. But the Kansas Health Foundation also funded us for the Victory Garden out there. And so during the growing season, we actually stock the food exchange with all the produce that comes from the garden. We also have, Fort Hays community work nights out there where we all get together and we tend to the garden. We have 4 student coordinators. 2 of them actually, Luke and Brendan, they have actually been incremental, along with Jean Gleischner, who is not present, instrumental in the progress of the Victory Garden. We, unfortunately, Shane Keller is our current Tiger Food Exchange coordinator. And then we have Chad Simon, who is also funded under the Health Foundation grant. He does all of our communications. He's our communications coordinator. What else?
What is the need in Kansas and the region for food programs, and then what, I assume that's what started this, and then what other programs are offered, like through other schools and things? How does Fort Hays compare?
So at our recent, thank you, at our recent conference, there's a hunger conference held every year in the state, well, in multiple states, but we go to the Kansas one, and it was in Wichita this year. They had, I was on I spoke at that with the coordinator from KU and Washburn. Now, Fort Hays has been the leader in having a food exchange along with a garden. There is not another university yet that has an operational garden and food exchange. They either have the garden or they have a pantry. And so we are pretty lenient with our food exchange. It's open, it has library hours, you do not have to provide identification or any other information. With that said, other universities, they're only open, like the KU campus was only open between, it was odd hours. It was like between 10 and 1 day a week. Really, and they were only getting numbers about 10 students, 20 students. KU campus has a lot of students. And so I'm just, they really had it closed off to their campus community. So did Washburn. And so they've been modeling theirs off of ours. And they found it very odd that we did not have the amount of abuse. We don't have any abuse. I mean, we had there was one instance where some lady came in and tried to take the cart out. Tried to take the whole cart out, full of food. And we're like, no. But the students on campus, everyone has been very helpful. But the other colleges have had, they feel like if they open up their food exchange that there will be a substantial amount of abuse. And so we really talked to them about what our system is like. The need, well,
I don't remember the numbers.
The numbers of the use of the food exchange, or
Just the need in general, the people, financial need, and that kind of stuff.
the financial need. We are currently doing a study. The Kansas Health Foundation actually funded us for that as well. You may have gotten a random letter in your mail and it's a survey that we were requesting students to fill out and send back in. I think the last numbers we got, we had our rate of food insecurity just on campus was very high. I would have to look at those original numbers again, but it was high enough to there was a big, large concern for our campus community. The survey did not include, I don't think it included faculty. This new one, I think, may have. This social work department is actually working with us on that survey, so that's been a great help. But those numbers will not be in. We're getting our surveys back in, but they won't be finalized until later this spring, and that will be released. But
I was wondering, how do you get the word out to students? Because I know I have like some roommates that I don't think know about this. So I was just wondering how you advertise.
We've used Facebook. We've tried. Our first year, we lost our communications director, and so the word did not get out like it could have. And so this last year, I've been really working on getting signs up. We do work on our Facebook account. The email blasts for Fresh Food Friday, which they have included now. They don't get delivered to you by themselves. They're hooked onto the Tiger Weekly, and they're at the bottom of the Tiger Weekly. So if you ever want to know what's for Fresh Food Friday, it will always be at the bottom of that. We probably could do a little bit more at getting the word out. Local churches, they have been they've gotten the word out for us. They've made announcements to the students that attend, that are within their body. There really is more we could do on campus, getting the word out. Because I still run into people and they're like, what is this? And they have no idea that it's offered here. And so we've had meetings on this, and it's been, through the word of mouth has been our best option. If anybody else would have ideas, we'll take them. But I don't know. We can do questions. That's perfectly fine. I like this.
You get more people coming to use the food service, the food exchange service, like you have anticipated, or you don't?
Okay, so currently we've had, since January, we've had 220 people come and use the food exchange. Last semester we had around 1,300. The semester before we had about, 1,000. It's increased every semester. 4 or 5. 4 visits a day for people. Average, yeah, it's about average 30, 35, 40 a week. And that's just with individuals that mark, that we have a tally system. A lot of people do not mark. So that is not taking into account the individuals that don't tally themselves. And again, when I say that is the only thing that we have requested students to do, so we can actually have some numbers to go off. It might not be the most scientific method to go about this. It certainly is not. But it's the only way to count the number of students using it without having to ask for identification and without having to complicate the process of obtaining food. Because again, we are equals with you, and there's a stigma when you have to provide some sort of documentation that you are trying to obtain food from a pantry of some sort. And actually, that goes into why we call it the Tiger Food Exchange, because there is also a stigma with the word pantry. And that has been one of our main missions, to open it up to people that would not normally want to go in and ask for help or try to obtain help when they need it. But there has been a continuous increase in the usage, in the use of the food exchange.
That leads me to my follow-up question. Do you think people are shy to get use the services?
Yes, they are. When I go into saying that there's a stigma associated with that, there is. And people, through society, has made it very difficult on individuals that want to go use even social welfare programs. They've made it frustrating because society has made you feel like you're going to be looked down for trying to go use those services that are there for individuals like they're there for all of us. So yes, the people, in the very beginning, it was hard. And I would see people go in there and they'd want to get out so fast. I mean, they would just run in and grab something and then they would leave. And really, that's why we have it, that's why we love it in the library, because it's an area where everybody walks in and it's there. And individuals should not be embarrassed to go get food when they need it. And actually increase in food, if you have a healthy diet, increases your ability to learn. And that was another thing that actually is another thing that we're working on. But yeah.
I think another approach should be introduce into it to make it more user-friendly?
The what?
Another approach, maybe you could brainstorm, come up with other survey, and then ask what people feel about it, and the best way to make it encompassing, so that they could feel free to go use it, and that notion of being stigmatized or will be taken care of. I think
Yes.
brainstorm and come up with a beautiful idea, send survey out, and see how you could actually get patronage, because the danger in it is that once you have things come there and they have expiring dates, you end up having people not using it, and these things are meant to be used, and there's no room for waste.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, maybe Shane can talk for a minute about who's actually using it, what he's seen.
Yeah.
As far as what's been,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
people take
You
and
can
what
sit there.
need and-
You're fine.
We get things that go the quickest. We get a lot of donations, but the things we get the most of are corn and green beans, and those are really the things that go the slowest, actually. Things that we don't get very often, but when we do go incredibly quickly, are like ramen, peanut butter, canned meats like tuna, pasta, and boxed meals like a pasta helper thing or whatever. We're now doing the meat. I come in stock on Mondays or Tuesdays, and I usually put some meat in the freezer up here, and when I come back on Friday for Fresh Fruit Friday, it's usually gone.
You do different meals and packaging things together and suggesting meal options as well.
When we have, right now we're kind of scarce on donations. We have basics, canned vegetables, but any like extra things like pasta, peanut butter, the things I mentioned that go quickly, we don't really have right now. Whatever we have is out there on the shelf, and there's not much. But when we do have extra things, like we'll get pasta and we'll have or an example would be like we have like a tuna helper meal, and somebody also donates tuna, so we'll package these things together as like a meal suggestion. Or we'll get pasta and somebody else donates pasta sauce, and maybe like some canned vegetables we can put in there too, and just like make little meals. Yeah, to try to promote a balanced meal.
How about the people who use it? Who's coming in?
It's a wide variety of people who come in. When I'm here stocking, I don't see people as much, but on Fridays, for Fresh Fruit Friday, when I'm here, a lot of people come in, and they'll come in for whatever the produce item is that week, and then they'll check out the rest of the pantry and usually take something with them. But it's a wide variety of just anyone and everyone, whoever is hungry.
I don't know if this would be helpful or not. I was just thinking about the marketing piece and the fact that this building is very publicly accessible, and you could think about maybe just having a standard poster, "We need your help," and something that's mounted on foam and just set there on an easel near the entrance. If that would help, that
I think
certainly
that
is
would help,
That
yeah.
would be
that's a real
amazing.
simple solution, but if it was a reusable poster that you could put out periodically just to remind people that you're there.
That's really neat. And I did work on, and I have it done, an email that, and I was going to talk to you about this actually, that can go out to everybody. And it gives a generic list of what we need.
Yeah, we talked about last
did,
semester
yes.
doing like a wish list email.
Yes.
That would just go out and be like, hey, these are the things that people really want and we don't have any of, so.
And our biggest supporters have
Is-
been Fort
yeah,
Hayes.
Yeah.
Who have been your donors?
Well,
Faculty members.
faculty, a lot of faculty.
Mhm.
Students will actually, I've been in there when students have brought in bags and said, I'm trading all this in for a can of pasta. And students actually, they've been another big supporter. Dillon's, we had Dillon's for a year. And Dillon's, we were getting eggs. They donated eggs, because once you break an egg in a 12-pack or a 6-pack, they throw out the whole thing. So we were actually repackaging eggs. It was awesome. They donated any canned goods that were slightly dented, things like that, but we have since lost them. The Alumni Association has been very supportive.
HRC.
We've had
HRC, yes, Hayes Rec Commission, they bring in barrels
Yeah.
of food. That has really helped. Yes.
So with increasing numbers like every semester, do you guys ever like end up like completely running out of food, or do you guys always have kind of like a reserve that you have? like, around?
There's always a reserve downstairs of staples, corn and green beans, and other canned vegetables. But we do run out of like the things that go the quickest, so we don't get them consistently. But
And
there's
we used to, there was a couple times where we've never ran out of corn and green beans, never.
Yeah, and
But everything, it's gotten
It's
down to
gotten
just
scarce.
those two things before.
And what if you guys were to hold a small event or something to, say, you guys put on an event and like as an admission to like bring a donation or something to increase the food intake?
There was last semester, I don't know how it was coordinated, but I was in a dual position last semester, working for the garden and the pantry. So I would really just come in and stock things. But there was some kind of food drive going on here. They had boxes that were like, and people were coming and bringing.
Center for Civic Leadership, it was Tigers Exchange.
Oh, okay.
Right,
Yeah,
no.
Tigers in
Service. I am so sorry. It was Tigers in Service. They did that. They offered organizations volunteer hours for 20 cans of food.
Oh.
And so that actually, we had that last semester. The swipe event always brings in food for us. In fact, actually, we have new manna food over there that we need to get recipes out for, because you can cook that. It's beans and rice. I mean, you can make different meals out of that.
Yeah, it's prepackaged. Our
prepackaged.
communications coordinator, Chad, he actually contacted the company to try to get, because there's no directions on the package and it's a mix of things, but I don't think he's ever heard anything back from them. Or if he has,
Yeah.
I don't know about it.
But it's been our 4 days community really that has been the big backer, and it would not be and just like with where we were in that tiny corner, and then they've given us all of that extra space and then additional space down in the basement, and thank you. You have been a very large supporter.
I think it's been helpful to have you here. I think, again, we're the most open building on campus. We
Exactly.
have the most public hours, so.
Exactly, and obtaining food should not be so closed off. It should be open, and you should not have to provide some sort of identification just to get a can of corn to get you through the night. No, it should not be a power thing, and I feel it has been made into somebody is always in power of you obtaining food, and it should not be that way. So, what?
Free the food.
Free the food, I know, right?
I have another question. When do you guys like start working on the garden, like in the spring, and like when do you guys start like harvesting stuff from it, and like when does the pantry have that food?
Well, we're going to be starting seedlings soon. They'll probably be ready to harvest early spring things in April, mid-April. Usually takes 60 days or so. And then there'll be things throughout the semester, everything will be coming at a different time, and we can plant the way we do our planting schedule. Last semester was my first semester here, and the garden had just changed sites at the beginning of last year. So they got a really late start because they had to build raised beds and make space for where they were going to plant, and they didn't get actually to planting things until way late in the semester. So at last semester we didn't really have much to harvest for the Fresh Fruit Friday, but this semester we have all the space built. We don't have to take time doing that. We can just start planting. But my guess, just based on my farming experiences, most things take, like early spring things, most things take about 60 days. The longer things take about 90 days, and we can plant on a schedule where this will be able to harvest, and then we'll have something ready for the next 2 weeks or whatever.
And then, yeah, and then usually when we start harvesting in the fall, there'll be campus-wide emails going out about work nights.
Yeah.
It'll cover work nights, and then, you know.
And we'll be harvesting in the spring too.
Yeah.
There'll be spring crops and early
Mhm.
summer crops. And I talked to Luke, the garden coordinator, and he said he's still kind of playing with what days are going to be the volunteer days at the garden. He was trying to figure out like things that work for all of us that are working for it. And I haven't heard anything back from him, so I'm not sure when those are going to be set up. I'm sure it'll be put out in an email.
So are you guys volunteer run a lot? Like, you guys really rely on volunteers to like keep the garden up and stuff, or do you guys have like enough project coordinators around to like kind of sustain it?
Last semester on our volunteer nights, like we rarely had any volunteers show up. It was mostly just the employees. And really all, on the work nights, really all we had time to do was just harvest. We didn't really have time to do much. I would go out there on my own and weed and do things like that, but we didn't have really turnout of volunteers. So really it was just kind of like bare maintenance that we were able to do to keep the plants producing. This semester though, I'm not sure. Since I'm full-time pantry coordinator this semester, I'm not involved as much with the garden yet. Like Luke and Brendan are kind of planning it, and I'll be helping when it gets going physically. But I'm not sure of the whole planning thing right now. But I've had some volunteers here at the pantry that has been really helpful, and so I hope through the garden there'll be more volunteers coming in too. We'll be able to do a lot more.
Do you communicate with Tigers and Service to get volunteers, or do you search on your own?
I have not personally. I don't really know how.
It's just email.
Okay.
Mhm.
But Jean Gleichner, the volunteers I've had this semester, she gave me a list of people that she had talked to that are in an honors college that were interested in volunteering. But I'm going to post my email over here on this message board right at the start, or the entrance of the food pantry, and then just with a little note that's like, hey, if anybody needs anything or needs to get a hold of me or has some kind of food emergency, like a way to get a hold of me. But I'm pretty new here. I don't really know the systems and the organizations and how to get a hold of people. So I'm kind of just figuring it out.
I do have to throw in something, because our funding is ending. So through the Kansas Health Foundation, we were able to pay for 4 student coordinators, 5 at one point. Didn't we have 5? I think we had 5. Anyways, that is ending in May. And so SGA actually funded us through the EOF. Was it the EOF? Okay. Opportunity Fund. That's what EOF is, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. $22,000 to pay for 4 student workers. And so because of our lack of volunteers, and I don't think it's because students don't want to do it, I just think the word has not gotten out and email is not enough. But with that, with our lack of volunteers, we still, we needed student workers to go out there. And even though all of us would have done it without pay anyways, it does give the opportunity to get 4 new individuals. Because actually, you will be here, Luke and Brendan we lose, and so it gives an opportunity for 3 more individuals to be brought in. And so that was actually wonderful, and we're waiting on allocations. We requested allocations to fund additional needs for the food pantry, our plants for this next year, for the garden, for next fiscal year, yeah. And so when I say Fort Hay, it's been the campus community that has, really, we would not be here. It's been a group effort to.
Sarah, is that 1-year funding or is
1-year
that
funding.
perpetual 1 year?
Yes, the 22 will pay, it was a little over 22, I think, will pay for 4 student workers for the next year.
Next year.
Yes. And so actually we're going a month here. We have a month in June because our funding ends in May. I'm pretty sure. So I think we have a month of June where everybody's just gonna be doing their thing, so.
For promotion, an idea you could do is go to the University Relations and Marketing Social Media Coordinator. I don't know if you know who that is, it's Melissa Dixon. And like for different events or campus organizations, if you have a poster or something that you wanna put up there, that they can do it on Twitter, like, or if you have a poster, you can put it on Instagram, or the Facebook page, cause all the students, social media is the new generation thing, that's a way you can reach more people. And then even for your positions that are you're opening soon, you can do that, or you can have someone in the graphics area make a poster or something for you.
Yeah, that is a good idea. And that, we'll.
Yeah, I was thinking if you had a poster and it just was posted in each departmental display board, just as another way to spread, and maybe on the monitors at CSI and some of those places, if you just send them the poster, they'll do things, right?
Just as long as
I
you
guess. If it's not a student club though, so I guess you guys have to talk.
You have to go by the branding standards, because I work in university relations, so.
Okay, well, I could go under, cause see, the Food and Hunger Club, or wait.
The Food and Garden.
Food and Garden.
Club.
Food and Hunger.
There you go.
That made no sense. Food and Garden Club is what we fall under. So that is our organization
Right.
underneath the hunger initiatives.
And then most organizations can print off their things to print shop too. For
That's
good
pretty
quality
cool.
prints.
That's neat.
I guess I have 2 questions. The first one is, like, what do you guys grow in the garden? Like, what kinds of things do you get? Like, what grows the best? How long does it take? Like, I guess you said, like, 60 to 90 days, but, like, what is kind of like the timeline for that? Like, when do you start growing certain things?
Now is the time to plant, like, greens, lettuces, things that want cooler temperatures, which is like peas, variety of greens. Can try a cabbage or a broccoli crop. It's kind of, most of my farming experience has been outside of Kansas, and Kansas can be really fickle with, it's cold now and then tomorrow it's 90. So it really kind of depends on how the weather is, on how much, like how well a crop is going to do, but usually you can get a pretty consistent, leafy spring things, and then going into summer, it's going to be more, I guess ideally you'll want spring to go into like midsummer, whatever you can get through there. And later summer is going to be like harvesting corn. We have garlic out there, not much garlic, but there's garlic that has been growing through the winter. You harvest garlic around July. Root crops, those take a little longer, like beets. Radishes are really quick though, so, and it only takes, radishes are quick. So we'll probably have radishes, those will probably be roots. Oh, in the summer we'll have summer squash, like late spring, early summer, like zucchini, yellow crookneck squash. But this is just me going off of what I personally have planted before and will plant, and the scheduling. I'm not sure, I haven't really had a chance to talk to Luke and Brendan about what seeds they've acquired or what they're planning to acquire. So I can't say exactly for sure what we're going to have, but it's, starting probably in April, there'll be leafy things.
And last year we had cantaloupe and watermelon.
Yeah.
And the cantaloupe did wonderful, but the watermelon, I don't know
There was
what.
some watermelon.
I just
in
know
the
that every
new
one
spot-
of them Luke cracked open.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, in the new spot, there's, I know last year, I didn't get here until the second half of the year, and so there was a lot of pest issues that kind of decimated the cantaloupe and the watermelon. We got a few little things, but not really enough to distribute,
Okay, so then I have another couple questions. What kind of pesticides and stuff do you use? Do you guys kind of go the more organic route and kind of try to stay away from that kind of stuff? Or
Yeah,
do you use,
it's fully organic. Any pesticides, that have been used are like neem oil, anything like that. I'm a fan of like blending garlic and hot pepper and just water and using that. But you have to be careful with something like that because it could also kill beneficial insects that you want to attract that will eat other insects or pollinate your plants. But anything that is used in that fashion is organic.
It's run by vegan environmentalists.
Yeah.
My other question is, when do like the student coordinator positions open, and like what are the requirements for those positions?
They're going to open in the fall.
I think they're gonna, yeah, it should be the fall that they're open. The requirements are really just, really a basic list of, like the communications director, he actually is a photographer, who's a photographer in the Marines. So he has a specific set of skills, and he is very good with technology, the technology side of things. So that, for his job position, that's what that required. For the food exchange position, it was just communications, basic qualities that you would need for any job. I wouldn't.
I would imagine like garden coordinator.
And the garden coordinator, they wanted you to have some knowledge, or working knowledge of plants. And so they have been, the biology department and the ag department has been, that's where we've gotten our students. So there really isn't any, I don't want to say there's nothing special about the job requirements, because somebody can always be working in the garden and have no knowledge, as long as somebody else has knowledge is there. But it would be an opportunity to an individual to grow and not have not be their expertise area. Yeah.
So would it be counted as a student worker job on campus, where they have to only allowed 20 hours?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And then during the summer months, we can't work on holiday. Yeah. Now, because we're going off the grant. So this is different. We're working off of university money now, and so yes, we do have to follow along those guidelines. So, well, we had to do it anyways, but
last summer.
But last summer,
somebody was
full time, working 40 hours a week,
while
and you
school
could
was
do
not
that
in
while
session.
school was not in session. So, and then we can do that. I'm pretty sure, because I asked for it. So I think we can do that. Can we?
Wait, what?
A student can work 40 hours a week during the summer
Oh,
session,
yeah,
right?
uh-huh.
Yep. Okay. So yeah,
You're good.
I was like, that's what I thought
Yeah, no.
What's the hourly wage that you get? Is everyone the same, or is it different?
Yeah.
Everyone's the same.
$8.25.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. Yes. We're all equal. Yes. I don't know. Is there any other questions? Is there anything? I'm trying not to leave anybody out. I keep racking my brain, because this has been a project that it's all like, it's amazing to see how big it has grown compared to what we had, which was nothing. And from where the garden was, to see this beauty, and it was beautiful then, but just to see a shed out there and a little greenhouse and the raised beds, and when you see something from nothing, something that came from nothing, nothing, I guess it didn't come from nothing, but you see it now, and it's amazing. And it's taken a lot of people to get it there. But
So if people want to donate to the exchange, do I just like bring like food to the exchange and sort of leave it there?
There's a shopping cart actually that has a sign on it. It is like for donations.
Oh, okay.
You can leave things there. Like I said, I'm going to post my email in there. So if somebody has like a large donation that they don't want to just leave, we can coordinate and I can come meet them and put it immediately in the storage room. But for some more smaller things, there's just a cart over there. And there's actually a shelf right behind the cart I was gone for a couple weeks last semester, and when I came in, or it was like around Christmas, I'm not sure, we got a huge donation, and it was like the cart was full, and people just started putting it on the shelf behind the cart, so it's that.
We also take toiletries.
Yes.
Yeah, we have,
Shampoos.
Yes.
there's a little section over there that has like travel shampoos and soaps and toothbrushes. We get toothbrushes and toothpaste and floss and stuff like that, which is nice.
Yeah, there was a local dentist last semester, and they donated a bunch of toothbrushes and floss and everything like that. But so, and we've had dog food and cat food donated before. Really anything. I mean, we will. Somebody in the family. I mean, she was alumni and she passed away, and her family donated everything. So, dishes, everything. And I'm like, this is not a thrift store. I did not want the food exchange to look like a thrift store. Not saying that's bad, but I'm like, I just was like, no, we can't take furniture. And so I brought in, I did get rid of all the dishes though, and they were nice. They were Pyrex. They were brand new dish sets. It was beautiful. And I put in pots and pans. Students needed them. They came and got them. But there has been, I'm trying to think of, Chartwell's has been wonderful.
Each month, Chartwell, our communications coordinator, has worked with Chartwell's, so each month for Fresh Fruit Friday they donate fruit. So we get like a case of Granny Smith apples and a case of red apples and a case of bananas and a case of oranges usually is what we get. And that's actually what this week's Fresh Fruit Friday is going to be. So that's really nice. They've been really helpful. Also, we have some bulk bins over here. There's 4 bulk bins that I'm going to be filling up this afternoon. So we're going to start having like bulk beans. There's a bean and pea mix. There's oatmeal, and then I just have a little bit of jasmine rice. Not like a huge bulk bag of it, but we'll now be offering a few bulk bins. That's
Yeah. That was Kansas Health Foundation. That was part of our grant money that went to, and through, and it's something we applied for through allocations too. So we're hoping. I wanted to be able to get it donated, but that was not happening. And buying
25-pound
how
bag.
big were those bags?
They're
Because we
25
went
pounds.
local and bought our rice from the International Food Store, but yeah. So I don't know. Is there any other questions? I don't want to.
With the bulk stuff, are you guys gonna have like bags and stuff that people can just like scoop it into and like take it with them?
I do have some bags I'll be putting right underneath them. I'll have to pick up some more bags. I mean, there's probably like 30 bags over there right now. But it's like the little containers that you just kind of pull the lever and it'll fill. So I will keep bags stocked there. But it'd be great if people could bring like a jar or their own thing, because then we're saving on the waste of purchasing bags.
Mm-hmm.
One other question, maybe not. I think I forgot what it was.
I have one. Do you guys only accept food donations, or would you accept like monetary donations too?
We've accepted monetary donations.
Oh,
We
yes.
put it towards like Fresh Food Friday.
Mhm.
Anytime we've gotten a monetary
Yes.
donation, we've been able to purchase more. Because actually, what we're budgeted for is depending on what we can get, because we're not producing out of the garden at this moment. We usually have enough for only between 20 to 30 students each Fresh Food Friday. But anytime somebody has donated to us monetarily, it allows us to get more things for the next week, or spread it out over a couple weeks.
There was an alum that donated $175 in cash. She just brought it in, gave us an envelope, and said, here. And she said, I needed food when I was going through college. And she really wished there would have been a program like that in existence. And so she said, now I can give back and just use it for whatever. So I used it for Fresh Food Friday. And so actually for a couple weeks there, I was able to just offer anybody anything.
Some of the Fresh Fruit Fridays, the turnout has been really high.
The turnout, when we had raspberries, I felt so bad because Dylan's had, and we work off the sale ads. We try to get as much as we can for the money. And with the raspberries, we went,
Yeah,
it
it was
was
like 15 minutes.
It was like
They're gone.
15 minutes and they were gone. And we hate that because we want to be able to offer to
anyone.
to anyone that wants to come in here and get anything. For
When you make food, there's more.
When we make food, there's more. Last year, we made green bean and dumplings one time. That went very fast. The
Yeah,
what?
breakfast burritos
The breakfast burritos for
for-
Oktoberfest. We made those Oktoberfest morning. We went through 140 of those.
And hot dogs, like,
Hot dogs.
we did a hot
We
dog.
did 120 hot dogs that went out the.
with sides.
hmm With sides, and the Lutheran Church on Hall, they do a yearly barbecue for us, and so we served 95 students, I think, on that one this last year. So, and they've done it for 2 years in a row. So we're starting a tradition, hopefully. But yes,
And there will be at least 2, probably 3 Fresh Food Fridays this semester that are gonna be like prepared a meal, like you can just come get a meal. I don't know.
Like spaghetti.
What the dates are gonna be. Yeah, we're gonna do a spaghetti.
there was a department out in Cunningham Hall that donated huge
Yeah.
ragu bottles, and that's great. And so that can be used for Fresh Food Friday. We can do all for spaghetti.
Talked about like chili.
Yeah. So we do a variety. Yeah, we do a variety of things. We try to have a hot meal at some point, and a balanced meal at that.
Yeah.
We always try to make a balance. Like when we serve spaghetti, we make sure there's a side salad with that, and a
Corn and
veggie
green
and fruit.
Corn and green beans.
Corn and green beans. That's why we made green bean and dumpling last semester. We thought, oh, we're gonna use up these green beans, and I used 20 cans. I think that was it. And I was like, it's not enough. I need to use it. Yes.
Did you mention the program tomorrow, crock pot cooking?
The crock pot cooking. No, I haven't talked to Jenny about it.
Okay, that's an event tomorrow, and I don't have the time.
Is it at 5 or 6?
I don't know, it's gonna be over in the foundation, it's open to everybody, but
Yes.
the program will be given by somebody from the rec center, Gail Wickham. She's gonna talk a little bit about crock pot cooking, and then there'll be stuff to taste. So you're welcome to attend it. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what time it is.
Oh, dang it! It's 5 or 6.
We might, we'll try to send out an email or something like that. It could be 6, but it also could be 7. I don't, unfortunately, didn't write down the time.
I'm sorry. It's not very good of us, or me.
Are students getting daily emails? Is that coming from, who's it coming from?
It's coming from like a Tiger announcements or like a
Yeah,
Tiger.
like
Okay.
Is that Tiger Week? Because there's a Tiger.
Well, there's Tiger Daily for faculty. Is that similar to what you guys?
Yeah, I think it's
Some
like
of those student
Okay.
workers that have Lotus Notes, like Fresh Food Fridays, I get that email. Like a regular
See, you were
email.
getting that, yeah, and then, and I wonder, because we went through like 3 weeks there where nobody was showing up for Fresh Food Friday, and it really concerned me, because I was like, this is not good. And that's when they changed it over to throw it at the bottom of Tiger Weekly, and nobody was getting the message. I mean, they were getting the messages, but nobody
knew
was.
where it was.
Nobody knew where it was, and they weren't scrolling down, and so I wasn't having anybody show up, and it was,
Right.
but,
There's supposed to be flyers at the union, and they were supposed to put it on the TVs about the crock pot meals. That was something our social.
Or
media
Chad,
coordinator, was
yeah.
working on.
That's really awesome.
Supposedly there's posters, and they were gonna do table tents at the union. I don't know if anybody's seen those. or
They
not.
have the little things in the like little plastic things on the tables. They have one in there for the crock pot.
Oh, they do.
Oh, that's
You don't
good.
Because I
remember-
saw it yesterday. I don't remember
Remember what time?
time.
Okay, so if you go to the union, look at the table tents, and they're supposed to also have it on the TVs. And I'm assuming hopefully in the dorms as well.
Yeah,
But I don't wanna tell you a time, and you either come too early or miss it.
yeah.
But the program's only gonna be about 20 minutes about crock pot cooking, and then the rest of the time, get a chance to sample some things.
Because anytime that you guys need to, promote something, University Relations could probably do that for you since you're a student organization.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to Shane, or not Shane, Chad.
Yep. Because if you just request something, then usually one of the designers is given the project and they can make a table tent poster, they can make a.
And maybe that's what he did.
You can make a,
Maybe that's what
you can make a, like a flat screen monitor. I've done all that stuff, like for curved services.
That's really
and
cool.
all that different stuff, so.
That's really neat.
And then we just send it to certain people and it goes, once you guys approve it, and then my advisor approves it.
That's really neat.
That way you can have more promotion that way.
Yeah. Because we do need that. I mean, I'm gonna say we need that, but.
Yeah, and if the poster was kind of a combo of, here's food available, and here's also where you can bring donations.
Yep.
you know, put them both on.
Because you guys can put whatever you want on there, and, because we have to go by the branding standards, like we have to have the 40 stick tagger on there, and we have to put whatever information, what color. And
Yeah. I have to, I'm wondering if, yeah. I wonder if
because
Chad already
you
did
send
that.
the request on to do then if you like.
Okay.
You have to ask that.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you for